What is Moos to you?
Most, it's like a residency, but it's not really like a residency, in that somehow the work itself is not the focus as other residencies are. Like in other art residencies I've been to, it's it's like centering around the work that people do in in studio practice or whatever, and then the relationships are sort of this like hovering thing that connects it all. But I feel like most is a little bit opposite, where it's like this connecting thing, and then adjacently, like people are doing their own stuff. And there's like all these competing like interests of what they want what most to be. Some people want it to be like a straight up residency. Some people don't want it to be. So it's like it's a mixture, this delicate balance of like co-living as a practice in itself, and then also this sort of like independent studio practice that some people have.
What kind of projects are you working on here?
Initially, I came to Moos to work on this animation project about my dad and religion and spirituality and all these things. That has taken a severe back burner, but a good decision, to be honest. And I've continued to work on it, but not so much. And I've been working on some like videos with Cassie from the Hologram. Sort of took up a lot of time, about 2 months actually, of like sort of from development all the way to making it happen. And this sort of experience, going back to the whole like legibility and money and all this sort of sustainability thing, I think this experience has actually sort of answered that question that I came here with. Like I was like, financial sustainability, how the fuck do I do this? And then working with Cassie sort of showed me in a very like this way, like, oh yeah, I can do it. Like, yeah, I can work freelance for like artists or other people and like get paid for it.
Right.
And this is like a thing I can do.
Great.
So yeah, somehow like it answered a question that I didn't realize that was more in the forefront of my head.
Yeah.
So Moos has some collaborations like this, and then recently I'm working on 2 video projects. One is a collaboration about my name.
Your name?
My name. And my friend's name. Because we both go by our English names, our sort of American English names, Jonathan, and she goes by Rena. But, our names are like, I started recently going by my Korean name, Seungjun. And so it's this movie, sort of essay film, sort of diving into that. Like, why did we feel like this need to go by this other name, and what does this mean? And then it's sort of a diasporic question as well, like legibility in a different context, right? And like legibility and like to like, like it's our names are then having to center around like typically like American white folks when I was living in the U.S., right?
Right.
Or so this is like that's like the sort of question that we're thinking about. The last film is an 8mm project.
And this is something you're working on here?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's an 8mm project. This one's a funny story as well. So like I'm at this other residency at the Dalwitz, in Dalwitz, which is like about an hour away from Berlin. And while I was there, one of the landlord of this place, who sort of owned this plot of land, was like, he saw me. I was like reading a book in my studio, and he came in, and he was like, looked at me, and I was like, oh hello, hi, nice to meet you. And he just like, he looks at me and is like, China. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna have this conversation again. All right, let's. I was like, okay, it's cool. No, I'm not from China, and we have this whole dance, like, okay, Japan, no, I'm from Korea. And then he was like, north or south? And I was like, like, and coincidentally, I heard that question from people I was introducing myself to, like, I think that week, like 2 or 3 times. Like, definitely, like, yeah, in a span of like a couple of days, 3 individual people asked me the same question, like, are you from the north or south? So the film is called Are You From the North or South? And it's made from 8mm footage that I actually stole from this man, because I just wandering around his lot, and there's like a pile of trash, and then in the pile of trash was this guy's like old 8mm footage that he just had thrown away. So I was like, well, I'm gonna take this guy's footage, and it says like Tunisia 1977 or Canary Islands, 1980. It's like this man who like traveled around the world with his like his camera and like sort of like this idea of representation and like capturing someone's image into your little like your little film strips where you can show home. You go home and like look at this crazy people
Look at
I met.
everything I did and look at
Yeah, and so it's really the plan is to what I'm doing is like I'm like scratching all the faces off of all the people that appear in this guy's film. So when you project it, it's like this the emptiness of light, but still the remnants of this sort of violent capturing through his camera, and a script that I wrote sort of like about this experience.
Wow.
So that's the
Strong project. Wow.
that's the film.
Is there anything you've learned from your experience here that you're going to carry with you when you're leaving?
That I can trust myself. So after a session with Julia
Hayden.
yeah, I sort of had this realization, like I was sort of not trusting like my guts and my body, and I was sort of like trapping myself and trapping my guts around this sort of like I was trying to control it with like my head, or probably all the pressures that I'm receiving through my head into my gut.
Huh.
So after the session, I felt like a little bit like I could open that and not do this cagey thing anymore, but actually just allow myself to radically trust not all like not your head, but just like you and your guts and your intuition and those things.
Beautiful. Where can people find out more about you?
Oh man, I wish I knew. I need to work on this legibility thing. I've been directing people to my Instagram. I've been directing people to my Vimeo page, but they're both not very well curated or clear. But Instagram is JO_NATHANLEE. And then Vimeo is vimeo.com/Jonathan Sungjun, SUNGJOON.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great to chat with you, Jonathan. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.